Scott, this one makes me happy too. We've been asking for something like this to happen for a long time. Borderlands studio Gearbox is reportedly closer than ever to being sold by Embracer Group. I think everybody should be sold by Embracer Group and just get out.
Yeah, being freed by Embracer Group.
Yeah, it's not being sold, it's being freed. Chris Scullion over at VGC. Sources have reportedly told Kotaku that Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford held a town hall meeting with staff this week and told them that a decision has been made regarding the studio's future, with more information to be shared in March. Why say anything at all then, Randy? Like, why would you bother doing that? Like, now you just raised a ton of questions. But according to the report, Pitchford had been telling staff for months that Gearbox's three options were to stay with Embracer, that's a mistake, get sold to another company, or buy itself out and become independent. I don't think at this point Randy wants to become independent once again. I think he'd rather just get bought and then move on, right? So, but either way, Kotaku claims that the decision has been made to sell Gearbox to another company and that a deal is being finalized. Refusing to confirm or deny the report, Pitchford told Kotaku, quote, "I'm delighted that we might be up to it too is interesting enough, okay, to people that you want to make a story about us for your readers," end quote. He added, quote, "As always, we will be thrilled to share whenever we have projects to announce or news to share as we work hard towards our mission to entertain the world," end quote. Reuters first reported back in September that Embracer was considering selling off Gearbox, with sources claiming that third parties had expressed interest in buying it. Later that month, Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick refused to be drawn out whether it would be interested in acquiring Gearbox, given its long-term publishing deal with Gearbox for the Borderlands franchise and other titles. Quote, "We've had a long-term relationship with Gearbox, of which we're very proud," end quote. Zelnick said at the time, quote, "They're a wonderful company. They've delivered for us, not just Borderlands, but also Tiny Tina's Wonderlands and other titles." Dude, I don't know if that one quite stuck with
I haven't
fans.
played that one.
Yeah, but I have no doubt they'll continue to be successful in the future. We're thrilled that we have a long-term publishing relationship on these titles. The publishing relationship exists without regard to the ultimate owner of Gearbox, but with regard to the potential interest, we don't tend to speculate on potential transactions, end quote. Embracer has been carrying out a widespread money-saving operation, announcing in June 2023 that it was implementing a restructuring plan which would involve the closure of studios and cancellation of projects. Earlier today, it was reported that Embracer is set to sell Saber Interactive in a deal worth up to $500 million, Scott.
Yeah, we're seeing them start to break away. Saber was able to buy itself out of Embracer, from my understanding.
Yeah.
And I'm not certain if that's exactly what's happening with Gearbox here, or if somebody is indeed going to just scoop them up outside of that. They won't go indie, but it is interesting to see things kind of... Is this the beginning of Embracer Group kind of crumbling away, releasing its grip on the industry?
It's funny, because then I look, if you're getting rid of Gearbox, you just sold off Saber Interactive, apparently, for $500 million. Right? Man, that's a lot of money. But they also warrant a pretty big title in development with them as well, right? So KOTOR remake is a pretty big deal, Scott.
And it still lives, from my understanding as well. The KOTOR remake,
which is
still
exciting.
in somebody's desk,
which is great. So hopefully it hasn't been completely axed, and maybe we will see this in the light of day at the end of the day, right? PlayStation was involved, Lucas is involved, right? Like, there's a bunch of companies and studios behind this. We'll see what ever comes to light. But when he gets into Gearbox and then Saber and then the closed volition, like, dude, there's so many things going on over Embracer. Who you left with? Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and then what? And then you've scrapped Deus Ex. It's just, what is happening over here? But it is nice
maximizing shareholder value. Which I don't understand the math on that one.
It's not the math, it's the money, and they don't care about the people is what it comes down to, right? Embracer doesn't give a crap about anybody but their own pocket. And that's telling of what the company is looking like now, right? Like, everybody's looking to bail out. If Gearbox gets out, this is a fantastic move for Gearbox, because they don't want to stick around in this garbage truck on fire called Embracer Group.